the salinity up. It'll balance out your minerals and everything and double your cooling factor.
Caribbean Ocean in Arizona.
So we don't have nearly as much money like this poor ocean has been through a lot for this year. It's got about 14 great the plan is to at some point get the numbers on the side, put all over there, don't indicate death as part of research. What's scheduling here are the microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, plankton, all
Savannah life forms
that make up 95% of the biomass of the ocean, and yet we understand so little about them. So they're setting up research protocols in here for their studies. We're connected with the Pauly research vessel that's been out at sea for a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And they're studying exactly using the research protocols. When the people live here, by the way, they like to swim in the ocean. 25 feet deep down. They would jump and dive off the cliffs. And and then one of them got Linda Lowe told me that there were a couple of people that would climb up the space grade to the ceiling and leap off. And they were, give you kind of an idea of how long 2 years is when you do it. Ran over and jumped in. I don't know what they do. If you want to try it, we'll stand back and see what they do. Yeah, you probably wouldn't be back with us for a while. Yeah. But I have always said my last day here, whenever it is, I'm going in. They're going to fire me?
That looks like the tree was growing on fire.
Hope that blows back the guards. The last thing I need is Dad, do you have that bug bite removal pen?
Yeah, I bought the mosquito thing.
Okay.
The little pin.
Yeah.
I have a shake up here. I don't know why. Somebody's not going to
Well, good. I'm getting eaten alive here.
Should have wore socks.
Okay, sorry about
I'm
that.
wearing
High pitched
socks.
sound. They're doing some kind of work in the basement, and it comes up. The noise comes up through those breaks. This is the lower savanna. This is normally like Australian grasslands, but there's a research project going on here now on aquatic insects. Have you ever sat by like rock pools up in the mountains or a slow-moving stream, and you see these insects walking on the top? Those are called water striders. And there's another insect that swims just beneath the surface. They look like a little beetle, and those are back swimmers. Well, there's about 100 species of insects living in these pools, but most of them are down in the mud, except for these two. So Galen has been studying these because they live in these very small environments, yet they eat the very same thing, and they coexist in equilibrium. So the question is, how come one doesn't die off? How come one or the other doesn't rule over the other one? And Galen has spent the last 2 summers up in the Catalina Mountains studying these things. Now, it's been thought that the reason they don't kill off one another or something is that when the rains come, it washes them out. A lot of them die, and then they start off from low numbers again. But what Galen saw the first summer he was up there was that we didn't have a very good monsoonal season, and the water striders declined in numbers, but the back swimmers increased. And then the next summer, last year, we had a great monsoonal season, and the water striders did well. The back swimmers died off. So climate, the rains, have something to do with their survival rate. But then he marked the backs of some of them to see what would happen when the rains came. And it's like they can sense the rains coming. They leave the water, fly off into the bushes, and hang out there until the rain stops, the water subsides, and you've got the pools again, and then they disperse to the different pools. So you don't have the same numbers. They're starting over again. And this could be why they can coexist like they do. Okay, so this is all very interesting, but so what? You know, like who cares what these insects are doing? It's all about biodiversity. And biodiversity is something we're losing on our planet, yet it's a very, very important part of a healthy life system on planet Earth. And so you've got to study from the bottom up, and that's what he's working on here. Now, if you look over here, I'm keeping you over here because it's nice and shady and cool. If you look over here, this is our mangrove marsh, and this was brought up in total from the Florida Everglades. They brought up the soil, the water, all the little critters in there, and the trees. 3 different kinds of mangrove trees. They were about 5 to 7 feet high when they were brought in here. They set it up like an estuary. So it starts over there by land as fresh water, and it gets more brackish, more salty as it goes towards the ocean. Our ocean obviously is little. And they have this, you know, flowing with the ocean, but because the ocean is small, this somewhat nutrient-rich water became harmful to the ocean, to the coral reef and everything, so they had to seal it off. The ocean's water enters into the marsh, but the marsh water doesn't go into the ocean anymore.